So let's dive in. First off, Ryan, people don't know you. If they don't know you in the crowd, they should know you. Everyone should know Ryan, though.
Yes.
Walk us through a little bit your story. I know you were a pilot originally for Grant. So you're a pilot turned multi-billion-dollar fund manager, executive vice president, pretty much running. You told me, you're like, I run everything at Cardone Capital. Grant just does his videos online and stuff, and it's kind of runs all through you, which is pretty cool. That's why we wanted actually Ryan to come. Like, this is the guy to actually talk to. Just knows the insides and outs of everything that's going on. And that's not a slight on Grant Cardone at all. That's just, I wanted to get to the guy that's like running everything, which is pretty cool.
Building a team is fascinating, and you need both people. My story is I was actually a pilot and a captain for United Airlines, but I just knew that sitting in that seat wasn't going to create financial freedom for myself and my family. I didn't come from a silver spoon, so like those of you guys who are just, maybe starting out or don't have this pedigree, it's okay. Like, you are in the right room, you are in the right spot, you can trust the people who are up here speaking. When I became a pilot, I did it because I wanted to be around in my goals I used to write as a pilot, I want to fly for somebody who is on the top of their game and moving and shaking around the world. And so from the age of 21 years old, I started flying when I was 17, 21 years old, I started writing this down every single day because I used to see the G5s and the G650s pulling up. I said, I want to be around those people in those airplanes. And so you guys might think like, well, how did you become a pilot and then private equity and then real estate? This was all planned. This was all planned up here. And that's why it's so important for you guys who have goals and dreams to write them down and to actually put into play what you want. And so when I was 30 years old, I said, I have to hang up this hat. I got to hang up these epaulets at the airline because I was capped. Each year I was capped. They have your set raises for the next 30 years. And I don't believe in 401ks. I actually believe in taking the 401ks and pushing them into the fund that we have or that you guys create. But this is how you can get creative, right? So at 30 years old, I said, what's next? And Grant Cardone on social media, on YouTube, he was really, it's like you ever hear, you can hear the truth from miles away. I heard the truth from miles away. What Grant Cardone was doing, what he was saying, what he was talking about was just being authentic. And I said, I'm going to go join his team. His team was like, you want to give up the airlines and you want to give up, I had 21 homes, 21 units.
Which we're going to dive to in a minute. That's cool to build a real estate portfolio while working, which is amazing. But keep going.
Yeah. But at 30 years old, it was too small, right? It's too small, guys. Whatever we're thinking right now, it's too small. Whoever you're hanging out with, it's too small. Whatever you're like, oh, well, this is a problem, it's too small. Like, get big-ass problems so that way all the little problems seem so small. And so,
Clap it up for that. That's not bad, hey?
God, we got to start thinking bigger. But that's why I said I want to go work for Grant Cardone, because I was thinking too small. And everybody around me was saying, you're thinking too big. Y'all ever have that? And they're like pulling you back. It's like the old crabs in the bucket. You got to get around people who are moving and shaking this world. And so if I could be the number 2 guy working with Grant Cardone, I wanted to hang it up at United, but I wanted to bring that into a skill. I wanted to bring that into a team where it was a skill. And so I said, Grant, I can come on be your pilot. He's like, can you even fly airplanes? I'm like, well, I got about 10,000 hours. Does that count?
Yeah.
Anybody in here as a pilot knows 10,000 hours? Like, I flew my ass off for 10 years. I flew about 1,000 hours a year. It's the max you can fly.
Did you just call him up or approach him or send him a DM? Like, what did that look like?
I called him. I called his office. I said, when can I be in there to interview? Grant wasn't even there. I met with Jared. And I was there because I had jump seat passes, right? I jump seat from Scottsdale to Miami. I interviewed with Jared. The only opening was a sales job. He didn't even have his airplane. The airplane was 2 weeks out. And I said, I'll take it. I said, I'll take the job. It was like, what do I do? They're like, you make phone calls to businesses. Cool, I'll be here in when can I start, 2 weeks? They said, yeah. I packed up all my shit in my house, my comfort zone in Arizona, and I moved out here. I started with Grant 2 weeks later, and then 9 years, I stand here in front of you guys where we've raised, $1.1 billion, 12,000 units, 2 office complexes, and now I've got, names in my phone and names with Grant, like from the biggest banks, from the biggest sellers. These are institutions now that we're communicating with. And so just the power of attraction, guys, I'm telling you, like, if you could just take one thing, whether you're doing it yourself or you're doing it with partners or you're having somebody help you, you just got to do it. You got to get rid of all of that stuff in the past, and you got to give it up. Because what are you willing to give up to get in the future?
I love that.